Rich foreign countries dumping trash into the Philippines, but with rotting piles of foreign waste, the government is making it known it is no longer acceptable to serve as the world's dumping ground. Good evening, I'm Ruth Cabal. You're watching On the Record.
Sabihin mo sa kanila, ikarga ko yan, sura ninyo, ibubuhos ko yan doon sa magandang beach ninyo. We are not a garbage dump here.
With us tonight, Greenpeace Southeast Asia campaigner Abigail Aguilar, Environment and Natural Resources Undersecretary Benny Antiporda is joining us through Skype, and John Simon, Customs Collector for Northern Mindanao, also will join us later. Good evening, Abigail.
Good evening, Ruth.
Okay, i-run down lang natin yung mga nakita na trash from different countries in the past. No, we have yung talagang batunog is that trash from Canada, and then can we look at that list? We also have some trash from Australia, from Canada, and then we have trash from Hong Kong, South Korea, and from Japan. Ito yung mga trash na pinasok dito sa Pilipinas. And Greenpeace did a study on this. Apparently, it's not just the Philippines, and malaki talaga siya from Southeast Asia. So, pakilinaw nga sa amin, Abigail, why is the Philippines becoming a dumping ground for foreign trash?
Yes, so this is not actually, as you said, the first time that we've discovered trash illegally dumped in the Philippines. The most famous of which is the long-standing saga of the Canadian waste that were shipped here in 2013, and after that 6-year saga, it was finally shipped back a few weeks ago. But the current proliferation of waste shipments, effect ng pagsasara ng China ng import bans, and naturally, all the richer countries that need to export their trash need to find alternatives, and the easy alternative are countries like us here in Southeast Asia. And apparently, of course, we are let's say the poorer countries, and we take the effect, we take the brunt, kumbaga, of all this trash, and but to a lesser extent naman ang Pilipinas, kung tutuusin. Actually, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam are the ones that actually take in most of these imports. However, in the recent months and year, they have also put their foot down, and they closed, and they even instituted import bans. And that is what we're lacking now as a country here in the Philippines.
Kasi pinapayagan sa batas natin yung certain, can you tell us about that? Yung certain kind of trash pwede,
right,
or waste material.
Yeah, what we have, why we are becoming the dumping ground is that we have less strict monitoring and less strict regulations, and that's why we become very vulnerable to the import of this trash. And as you've said, there are many kinds of trash that's of course being imported. But for example, us in the Philippines, we are signatory to the Basel Convention, which is an international treaty that allows the transboundary movement of waste from richer countries to poorer countries like us. And under the guise of recycling, inaalaw ito sa atin.
Yan, sinabi mo yung guise of recycling. Yes. We'll talk more about that, no? Pero ano yung nagiging problema? May mga pumapasok pa rin na illegal na hindi dapat, di ba?
Exactly. In the many instances that we've received trash, especially like the Canadian waste, it's a very good example. It was misdeclared waste. It was originally declared as plastics for recycling, when in fact, when it was found out by the Bureau of Customs, it was actually mixed waste. There was household waste, there was even used diapers, there's medical waste, and all this stuff. And it took a long 6 years for us to be finally able to ship it back. And we don't, of course, want that to happen anymore. But what's happening right now, there's a series of discoveries from the South Korean waste, the Hong Kong waste, the Australian waste. And what's worrying us here, of course, the Greenpeace and all our partners from the waste and the environmental community, is that there could be more. And then this can be just the tip of the iceberg.
Baka nandun lang talaga sa mga ports no? We'll talk more about that kasi kasama natin ngayon si Yusek Antiporda of DENR. Good evening, Yusek.
Yeah, good
Yusek.
evening and good evening to our viewers.
Yusek, yun nga, we're talking about what's allowed and what's not. Kasi di ba meron namang batas that allows yung recyclable waste, no? Can you tell us more about ano bang pwede talagang ipasok dito sa bansa natin na klase ng waste and bakit natin pinapayagan to? Kasi apparently some industries are using this, Yusek.
When you say waste, no, basura yan. Yung basura, hindi po pinapayagan pumasok sa ating bansa. So, ang pinapayagan lang po sa atin dito are yung recycled recycling materials and of course, yung tinatawag natin na PEF, which is the process engineered fuel, no? Yun lang yung mga pinapayagan dito. And yet, if yung tinatawag natin na litter, hindi po pinapayagan yan.
Okay. Pero sa unang banda, bakit nga po ba siya kumikita po ba ang Pilipinas dyan? Ano po bang ginagawa dyan? Talagang nire-recycle yan at ginagamit sa ibang bagay? Paki-explain lang, Yusek.
Well, of course, yung iba niyan is ginagawa, pinipelletize para i-export uli. Then yung iba naman is ginagamit naman as yung mga plastic, just like yung mga balde, hangers. Kung mapapansin nyo yung mga kulay itim na yan, yan yung mga galing sa recycled materials.
Okay. Pero ang nagiging problema, may mga bagay po na hindi dapat pero nakakalusot. Katulad ng pinag-uusapan namin kanina with Greenpeace, di ba? Merong mga adult diapers, yung mga household waste, electronic waste, di ba? May mga ganon. Opo. Ano pong nangyayari?
Tama po kayo dyan. Yung pong mga bagay na yan is hindi po pinapayagan yan. No po? Yan yung mga pinapalusot sa atin. So, we are the same here with you na talagang hindi po dapat talaga pagbigyan yan, yung mga shipment na yan. Well, unang-una, nag-propose na po tayo kay Secretary Simato na magkaroon ng moratorium to come up with very strict guidelines on the imports of recyclables. No? Unang-una, ang merong style kasi na kapag nag-import ka at nahuli ka, ipe-penalize ka tapos napakaliit ng penalties. So what will happen? Malaki pa rin ang kita mo. So since malaki kita mo, mag-import ka pa rin. So yun yung mga dilemma natin dito. Kung kaya't yan yung mga pipigilan natin na once and for all, pag ikaw ay merong related sa waste yung importation mo, kailangan may malaki kang ban, no? If in case mahuli ka na meron kang hinalo dyan na illegal, well, yung ban mo, let's say, if it's worth millions, I don't think you will repeat it again. I don't think you will do it again. So yun yung atin pong nakikita rito para unang-una mapigilan yan. Pangalawa, yung pong mga nagmi-misdeclare. Pag nag-misdeclare po yan, kailangan habulin natin yung mga consignee. So bakit hindi mahabol yung mga consignee? Fictitious po minsan ang consignee na ini-issuehan po ng Bureau of Customs. And that i-solve namin to. I will personally will coordinate also with the Bureau of Customs para once and for all habulin namin itong mga consignee na ito na nagpa-fly by night sila just because of this importation ng garbage. Yan po ang ginagawa po namin ngayon.
Yusek, yung possible corruption din in terms of yung baka approval ng mga, what do you call that? May certain registry certificates or other permits. Di ba may ganyan kailangan? Possible corruption on the side of, I don't know, is that BOC, DENR? Kasi dun sa kaso ng Canada, there was one who was, well, he was just suspended dun sa kaso ng Canadian trash.
Well, hindi po, no? Yung sa Canadian trash, there is deceived on the we've been deceived on what happened, no? Basically based on my personal investigation na alam nyo, being the high officials in DNR, hindi naman kami makakababa doon sa pier para tingnan yan, no? And yet sa dami ng pumirma niyan, hindi nyo naman pwede sabihin na kasalanan nung huling pumirma, which is yung mga high officials sa DNR. But since meron tayong tinatawag na benefit of the doubt, na absuelto naman yung ating pong opisyal dyan na ika nga ay kinasuhan, well, para ho wala ng rason, ang pinakamaganda talaga ay higpitan po talaga natin yung pong parusa dito po sa nagpaparating nito. Hindi po natin na maituturo kung sino mga ika nga yung mga allegedly na nagkaroon ng korupsyon dyan. Pero dito po sa administrasyon ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, I don't think na mapapayagan yan. Kung kaya't hihigpitan po natin just to be sure na hindi na magkaroon pa ng same situation.
Okay, Abigail, balikan muna kita. We'll talk to Greenpeace now, sir. Ano bang nakikita nyo? Kayo, anong nakikita nyong problema? Yung sinasabi ni Yusek, yung mababa yung penalties kasi nagpaparating pa rin, walang ban, tapos yun na nga, mga may fictitious papers. Saan nyo nakikita yung problema naman?
Yes, nakikita namin is yung kakulangan or ng pag-enforce ng policy. Na-appreciate ko yung sinasabi ni Yusek that they are looking into it more strongly and they will coordinate more actively with the BOC. However, there were also pronouncements about them going to issue a department administrative order for a total waste ban. And of course, that is appreciated, but with the series of shipments na dumadating sa atin, we don't think na enough ang isang DAO or a department administrative order, and there should be a stronger instrument that should be in place that involves not just the DNR, not just the BOC, but even more government agencies to strictly enforce this a ban. That also includes the Department of Foreign Affairs. So may kakulangan at kailangan talagang mas bigyan pa ng ngipin kung ano man yung meron tayo ngayon. And of course, ang isa sa call ng Greenpeace together with many groups under the Break Free from Plastic movement is that we ratify the Basel Ban Amendment so that even waste that are recyclable or for recycling cannot enter because waste is waste.
You mentioned that yung recyclable waste, medyo masalimuot din pala yung process of recycling. So isang issue pa rin yan na dapat natin i-tackle with this, no? So later on, we will talk about that. We'll be back after a quick break. This is On the Record. You're on the record on CNN Philippines, and we're talking about foreign trash dumped in the Philippines. John Simon, Customs Collector for Northern Mindanao, is joining us now on the phone. Si Mr. Simon is with us kasi yung tatlong shipment from Australia, from Hong Kong, and South Korea apparently pumasok sa port ng Misamis Oriental. John, are you there? Hello, John? Mr. Simon? Sir? Hello, sir? Okay, babalikan natin si John Simon, yung Customs Collector ng Northern Mindanao. Abigail, yung pinag-uusapan natin, medyo masalimuot yung process of recycling. So yung nangyayari ngayon dito, kasi like yung sa Canada, yung ibang trash, they buried it in a landfill, ano? So ano ba dapat ginagawa pagdating talaga dito? Supposed to be recyclable, di ba?
Kung recyclable, yun yung isang problema natin dito sa Pilipinas dahil wala tayong formal recycling mechanism or systems. So even if recyclable ang materials na dadalhin dito, walang assurance na talagang yan ay marirecycle. And with what's happening now, alam natin na hindi naman talaga. It's not the case. And there are studies that of all the plastic waste that's ever produced, only 9% globally has been recycled. So napakababa nun. And especially in a country like the Philippines with no formal recycling
So ano nangyayari
system.
sa mga basura?
Yes, ang mangyayari is it just gets dumped in our shores and they're just left for it to rot in our ports. And it's an easy way out for the rich countries because it begs the question, why are they exporting their trash? Meaning they can't recycle them in their countries where they have supposedly the better and more
modern,
advanced recycling technologies. But the system is they don't have they for sure will have stricter environmental standards, and it's more costly for them to recycle them in their countries. That's why
Kaya sa atin na
kaya
lang.
sa atin tinatambak because it's cheaper here, and we have, as I've been saying, we have lax monitoring systems, and even we don't have this really, and it's an unfortunate truth, is a regard for worker conditions, and it's very lax here, as I've been saying. So it's an easy way out for them, and with the deluge of trash coming to our region, it's really unfortunate that it comes, everything is accepted here in the Philippines.
Okay. Tuloy natin yung discussion na yan kasi Mr. Simon is with us. Hello, John Simon? Sir? Yes, sir. Sir, can you hear us? Hello, sir? Hello, sir, can you hear us? Mr. Simon? Okay, balikan natin ulit si Mr. Simon. Medyo nagkakaproblema tayo sa linya. And then, of course, bakit ayaw natin ng kahit sabihin natin recyclable waste? Anong possible effect ba nito?
Yes, ang epekto nandito is we have to manage other countries' waste. I mean, we all know for a fact that we have enough waste here in our country that cannot even be managed well, and they all end up as pollution. It's simple logic. Why should we be accepting other countries' trash in the first place? And with the very lax monitoring systems, or even lack of monitoring systems, wala na tayong way para actually talagang i-monitor yung pagpasok ng mga ito, and to do what is proper. That's why most of the waste that are entering our shores are nakakalusot because they're misdeclared. And that's the unfortunate truth, because most of these trash, as I've been saying, are mostly mixed waste and misdeclared. And they pose so many kinds of hazards to us here in the Philippines, as health, environmental, and those things are not really taken into consideration.
When you say sa environment, of course, nakikita natin maraming laging viral yung pictures ng mga animals na nakakalunok ng plastic, kasi hindi siya nasa-segregate ng maayos din. And sinasabi mo, they end up in the oceans. And paano yung sa tao? Paano yung waste, how does it affect us kung nasa port, kung naiiwang nabubulok, hindi
Yes, because if they're left in the ports rotting, and we know that there are hazardous wastes included in that, because they are toxic and they are contaminated waste that are rejected from their country of origin, the effect will be to us, Filipinos. They're left in our countries to rot, they are leaking, and they will pose health hazards to us, not just environmental. It will leak into our oceans, it will leak into our lands, in our soil, but most especially, first in terms of the air we breathe, in the communities that they are left with. So napakaraming hindi na napapag-aralan o nakikita at nako-consider dun sa buong picture.
Okay, si Yusek Antiport is with us. Yusek?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, so ano ba ang ina-allow ano bang klase ng recycling ang kaya ng Pilipinas ngayon? At posible ba na talagang, kasi sinasabi minsan may mga illegal incinerators or illegal landfill. Paano monitoring nyo?
Well, when it comes to illegal landfill or illegal dump site, hinuhuli po natin yan, no? Kung saan isa lang may pagmamalaki talagang paubos na po yung mga illegal dump sites na yan. Dahil gaya ko kahapon sa Siargao lang po, inuli rin natin para i-cease and desist siya, and tayo ho personal ang nagsara pa, no? Pero tungkol naman po rito sa mga sinasabing incineration, wala po naman tayong ganyan pa na namomonitor, no? But if ever na siguro naman pagbigay alam sa amin sa DNR para ho makapagtulungan din po at makuha namin yung informasyon. So about this, no po, yung proseso po recycling sa atin mostly deals with plastics, no po. Yung plastic na yan, it's either pinipel na po nila at it's either ine-export or ginagamit dito as plastic products natin. Well, the difference here is this, no? Hindi ako disagree dyan sa sinasabi ng ating kapatid dyan, wherein I myself, being the Undersecretary for Solid Waste Management, sang-ayon ako na itigil na yan, no? Mas maganda yan kasi it will solve my problem. Kasi ang problem ko is to solve the problem on solid waste. Now, Ang problema lang natin is we need to balance yung economic impact nito doon sa mga tao na naghahanap buhay nito. No? So now, binabalidate namin ilan po ang mga companies na yan, ilan ang nakikinabang dyan, ilan ang ika nga yan nabubuhay dito sa ganitong negosyo. If it is not that big, no, and it will cause a big risk to the country, then I will go for the complete banning, no? Walang problema yan. I will personally propose this to the good secretary, Roy Simatu.
Okay.
But sad to say, we need to do it in a manner na talagang may justify natin yung bawat moves natin. Dahil ang mahirap po sa amin, it's easier said than done. Although regulatory kami, still we need to consider some angles wherein yung taong bayan wag tatamaan.
Okay. Okay, sir. Babalikan namin kayo. We'll talk to again to Mr. Simon of the Northern Mindanao Port. Kasi po, dyan sa port nyo, yung pumasok yung 3 shipment of trash from Australia, Hong Kong, South Korea. Paano po nangyari ito, sir? Sir, paano po nakapasok?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Paano po nakapasok yung 3
Hello?
Sir, paano po nakapasok yung 3, sir?
Yes. Ma'am, hindi ko po marinig.
Paano po nakapasok yung 3 shipment, sir, ng basura? Okay.
Medyo po mahina, hindi ko po marinig.
Okay. All right. Babalikan natin si Mr. Simon and we'll be back after a quick break. You're watching On the Record on CNN Philippines. You're watching On the Record on CNN Philippines. We're talking about the dumping of foreign trash in the Philippines. Abigail, for Greenpeace, yung sinasabi kanina ni Yusek na titingnan pa rin kasi nila yung effect doon sa ibang posibleng maapektuhan, but you're going for the total ban on importation of waste.
Yes, we are calling for a comprehensive and a total ban of waste. And as to the issue of the industries na tatamaan ng ban, I think it's high time that we look into a just transition to support industries that are more sustainable and green and not relying on industries that rely on waste of other countries. And even as I've been saying, there's enough waste for us to manage here in our country. Why should we be accepting waste from other countries in the first place? So that is one. And we're also, of course, continuously calling for our Senate to ratify the Basel Ban Amendment.
Ano ibig sabihin nun?
Yes, a Basel Ban Amendment means that even recyclables will not be allowed in our country.
Totally,
That means
kahit anong form ng waste.
Yes,
Oo.
because any kind of waste trade, because waste is waste, for us is unacceptable.
But you also have to change the law kasi may batas din, di ba?
Exactly.
Na pinapayagan yun.
Right, exactly. So that's why, as I've said earlier, it's not just, it doesn't just fall on the shoulders of DNR, but there should be a stronger and more comprehensive, a stronger instrument, as I've been saying, DNR, the customs, the DFA even, to actually enforce and look into a more holistic law against it.
Okay, Yusek Atiporda, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're talking about parang will the department order be that powerful para magkaroon talaga ng ban dito sa sa importation of waste? You're talking about, sabi nyo, papa-review nyo for higher penalties or a bond and penalizing yung mga brokers.
Yeah, because whenever we get we apprehend yung mga ganyang situation, bumabaksak yan sa Pollution Adjudication Board. And the Pollution Adjudication Board is under the DNR. So we can come up with the scheme wherein talagang maprotektahan natin and magkaroon tayo ng magandang guidelines against dito sa mga niloloko tayo. Di ba? So basically, again, we are not against the total banning of it, no? But we need to do it in a manner that as much as possible, yung magiging damage minimal dito sa ating bansa.
Pero yung kasi mismo si Presidente po nag-order to stop, di ba, the importation of wastes into the country, no?
Well, yun nga yung pinagkaiba niya. No? Ang pinag-usapan natin, ang waste po is basura. Hindi po tayo paparating ng basura. Yung recyclable po, hindi po basura yan. No po? Yan po ay recyclable. Yun ang kailangan i-define natin ng maayos. But if ever na talagang nakaka-agrabyado at may health risk sa atin yan, mapipigil po talaga natin.
Okay. Thank you very much to our guests for tonight, Abigail Aguilar from Greenpeace, and the NRU Sec Benny Antiporda. And that's on the record tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Ruth Cabal.
Sabihin mo sa kanila, ikarga ko yan, basura ninyo. Ibubuhos ko yan doon sa magandang beach ninyo. We are not a garbage dump here.